All right. Hello, everyone. Today is our second Cognos Analytics session. And here is the agenda. We're going to talk about dashboards and infographics today. And we're going to do the stories. And we're going to talk about how you're going to use Cognos Analytics for the group assignment, which is last project, right? So, but remember, we worked with claims and weather data. And the data stores the customer information, such as customer IDs, customer country, state the customer lives on, right? It stores the information on the vehicle that the customer is driving, the insurance, the car insurance that the customer has, type of claim, and then we use that to predict the total claim amount, right? So that's just a partial data screenshot. And as you can see, we did some data pre-processing for the data. What is this personal policy for the small vehicle? We created the filter, right? Selectable filter, which you can turn on and off. Then we filtered all rows where effective to date is missing values. We handled missing values. So this is just a quick recap of what we did last time. We removed the rows missing effective to date. Then we created the selectable filter where we can just apply to visualization as needed. Then we noticed that some columns still had missing values in the income. Some rows still had missing values in the income. So what we did was we replaced the column average. We replaced the missing values with the column average. That's what it's doing here in this screenshot. And also it's doing rounding. It's trying to round to no decimal points. That's what it's doing. Then also it has monthly premium values, had missing values, it did that. Then there is a video where I show you where when claim reason value is missing, we're going to treat it as other. Otherwise, treat it as claim reason, right? So we also did some of the grouping, right? We looked at the group for the categorical and numeric columns. We did that piece, right? But then we also did the explorations. So I'm going back to Cognos. So if you look at the exploration, see that's a claim weather exploration. What you see here is just a set of what individual cards, right? But there is no way to add text to each card. I cannot add my own explanation of what is that, right? I cannot label it. There is no way to customize how the card looks like, right? So it's blue. There is no way to change the color to green, perhaps. So I cannot control how it appears. There is no way to select one data point and have the data point to be selected in other visualizations, right? So there is no way to tweak the layout, etc. We cannot apply the global filter here to all visualizations. So, but that leads us to the new topic. And the new topic is going to be called what? The dashboard, right? So it's in here, dashboards. We create dashboards to present our insights about the data. Dashboards, it has a set of visualizations and attractive layout. We can add pictures. We can, we cannot actually add the picture directly, but you have to add the link to the picture on the web. You can reuse your visualizations from explorations. You may toggle between view mode and edit mode, right? And I'll show you that. And you may add calculations to your dashboards similar to what you did in explorations. But if you add the calculations to the dashboard directly, then if you create another dashboard or another exploration from the same data source, those calculations won't be available in there. So if you want to have a calculation, that calculated column available everywhere where you use that data as a source, you need to add it to the data module. But now there are two types of dashboards. There is a tab dashboard and there is an infographic. To create dashboard, you need to go to where you save the file, right? It's like in my case, it's my content right now, right? And I need to go to the claims and weather data module here, and I need to select create dashboard. That's how I do it. I can do it here, or because that's what I had recently opened, it's gonna appear in my recents, and I can click here too, right? Create dashboards. Or if I go here, new, and select dashboard, then I will have to do another step. I will have to specify the data source, right? So if I know which data source I'm using, it might be much easier to do it this way. You just find the data source, you're gonna click here, and you're just gonna do create dashboard, right? Now what happens? There are two types of dashboards here. Infographic is a long page, basically. It's just single long page, and you have different layout templates. And tabbed it contains multiple tabs, let's say. Why we're gonna use tabs? Because later on you'll see that you can export tabbed dashboard as a story, and I'll show you. So, but basically you're going to use tabbed, and the difference, bigger difference is that you can export tab dashboard as a story. You cannot export infographic. And for the tabs, as the name says, you can organize your visualizations into multiple tabs. See here, each tab has different predefined layout options. A few things to keep in mind. This is a free-form layout, so this will not scale based on the screen size, but these templates here will scale. They will adjust based on the screen size. Well, the layout you choose depend on you, depend on what you want to do. But keep in mind, the more you put, the longer it takes to load. The more visualizations you put on a page, the longer the page could take to load. So let's just do 2 by 2. And I'm going to click OK. Right? So again, what do I see in here? In here, in this panel, this is my data. And I see column names, right? So, and again, similar to explorations, different icon represents the column data type, right? So I have here, what is this? Policy type, this is a group column, right? Remember we created the group, and it's available in here. Why is it available in the dashboard? Because we created it in the data module. So here is also group column. And what is this? Do you remember I told you to use descriptive names for the filters? Because if I did not use the descriptive names, there is no way here to know what this is. But this is the selectable filter where we want to see only records with policy type personal, and the vehicle is small, right? So here again, different columns, and you can see, you can check the column properties too. And another thing that you can do, you can also modify, like for example, this one is, what is annual premium auto? Oh, that's a calculated column, right? It's monthly premium multiplied by 12. So, and you have here, this is a month since last claim, for example, right? I can go in here and I can go to the properties and see here, this is the aggregate properties, is also says how data is being summarized, right? So everything is here. And total claim amount, I changed it before because I want the data to be summarized as average. If I look at the total claim amount by state, I don't want to see the sum of all claims. I want to see the average. See, it's saved. It's because I made the change in data module. I don't need to make the change again, right? So here, this is the first tab, and you may add more tabs, as you see. And when you add new tab, you select the layout. You don't have to keep the same layout, but I will. See, by default, it names it tab 1, tab 2, and you can always rename it. So when I click on this, when I click on this, see, it puts me, it's editable, see? Oh, I double click and it lets me, it lets me change name. But when you do click, see this here, you can duplicate, and then you have an option to change the template. If you don't like 2x2, for example, at any time you can choose another template, right? I mentioned that there is something called properties. There are also properties of the tab. So when I click here, this is properties. The properties that I see depends on what I currently have selected. At the moment, I don't have any visualizations. All I see is just the tab, right? So I can change the appearance of the tabs, right? Color and theme. Sometimes it's a little bit not. So see, I can show or hide the grid, right? In this case, I want to show general. Oh, here it is. I can close this. Oh, here it just visual theme. I'm just gonna keep it default. Then in here, if you click on the tabs, you can specify the background color. In this case, I don't want a background color. This is a title color. So I want my title to show red. It's possible. Then here, if I want to show which tab is being selected in green, that's possible too. I selected the cyan color. But anyway, if I want to change the color that is used to show which tab is currently active, that's possible also, right? So you just know that there are settings that you can play with. So this is tab 1, tab 2, and I keep on adding more tabs, right? Then next thing is that how do I add my visualization? Well, first of all, I forgot to save it. I need to save it, right? So how do you save it? We click on a floppy disk, and you want to save it in your content, right? Properties, yes, in this case, excellent question. In this case, the properties here are properties of the dashboard, yes, because I did not do this. See, this is the properties of the column. When I click on the column and select properties here, this is going to be the properties of the column. In this case, I don't have any data selected. I just went to here. So that's properties of the dashboard. Yes, okay. And we're going to be looking at different properties today. But first we need to save it, right? Always save it. The minimum number of tabs, that's an excellent question. I don't have that answer because you need to have the number of tabs that you need to have is answers the questions of the assignment, I would say, right? So it depends on the data you're working with. It depends on what are you trying to accomplish, right? So now, but that's an excellent question though. Now I'm gonna go to my content and I'm gonna save it as let's say car. I'm gonna call it cars dashboard. Okay. Okay, so here is the car dashboard, and I'm gonna save it. Right? I just saved it. Didn't do anything yet, but save it. So I have my dashboard. So how do you think I can add visualizations here? There are multiple ways. Well, I know all of you did a lot of work for the assignment 3, and assignment 4 is the continuation of 3. So yes, so let me show you how you're going to reuse your visualizations from last assignment. You're going to go to the exploration. So this is my exploration, right? And what you need to do, see this, you have the set of the visualization cards, right? Remember I mentioned there is something called pin. So you're going to click on the visualization card that you want, click on the visualizations that you want to use in your dashboard. See, I selected it here. Then, do you see this little pin here? When you pin it, it adds the visualizations to your favorites. So pin is basically nothing but a bookmark. So now, when I go back to my dashboard and see here I see everything that I have opened, so I can just navigate like this. I go here, then when I go to the pins, right, I just added this to pins and I can just drag and drop here. But take a look at it. I want to put my mouse cursor right above that arrow because I want the size of these visualizations to be the size of this little panel, right? See? I want this to fit exactly into the panel. So see, I just drag and drop. I have some visualizations that I added earlier. If I did not delete the data explorations that I used to create those pins, they should still be working. See, it still works. And the reason it's still working because I did not delete that pin, right? I did not delete the data exploration where I added that pin. See? So that's why I can still reuse my old pins. So if I know that I have, if I know that I have a visualization that I'm going to be using on multiple dashboards, I'm going to add the two pins. So that way I can just go here and drag the pin. Very easy, right? Isn't it? So now another way to do it, I can go, let's go to the new tab here, and I can add the visualization from scratch. So I have, see here, this is a visualization library, and I can go, for example, I want to add a pie chart. So I just drag and drop the pie chart. But wait a minute, what is this? Those are the data slots, the slots, right? And if you see this little star here, it means that I must specify something in here to be able to see the visualization. I must put something here, some fields, okay? All right, guys, please mute your microphone. Thank you. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to fields here. And for example, for the segment, I want it to be my state, right? So state is gonna be the segment. And size, I want to do the number of people, right? So how do? I can do the customer, because the customers, how is the customer column summarized? If you look at it, see this, if you look at the summarized property of the customer, it's showing the count distinct, right? So what this does is right now, it's showing the number of customers in each state. But if you review the purpose of the pie chart, the purpose of the pie chart is to show the relative percentage, right? It shows the relative proportion. Like, for example, I want to see what the percentage of customers that live in Missouri, what percentage of customers live in Kansas, right? So that goes back to our what properties, right? So I selected the chart, and I'm going to click on this properties right now. For the pie chart, well, of course, I can change the colors if I want to, but in here, important property is display the percentages, because I'm not actually interested in the numbers when I do the pie chart. I want to see the percentages, right? So that's important property. Then I can change the appearance, right? So that's another part. And then you just play around with all of this, like label, shadow, etc. I'm gonna keep the legend. I like to keep the legend. Then I can go to the general, and in the appearance, I can change the border color if I want to add the border, right? But there is also show title. I can turn this on, and then in here, I want to put something like percentage of customers by state, right? I did that. See, so that's now my title. You can also, there are multiple ways to edit the title. See that I double clicked and it displays the toolbar here. So I can change my text properties in here, right? Or I can also use this here to change the properties of my text. So see, so that's a pie chart, percentage of customers by state, right? And I showed you the properties of the pie chart. So let's see where we are here. right? We talked about the differences, but we don't use infographics. We're going to stick with tab dashboards for this course. All right, and those are the predefined templates I showed you. And remember that the more you put on a page, the longer the page can take to load, right? So this is just the interface. Another thing I did not mention, and we're going to talk about filters later, but this area can be expanded and collapsed, right? So you've got the properties, you've got the filter areas that can be expanded and collapsed, right? Oh, then you also can add the text. So if I go to that's a visualization, that's a widget. In widgets, you can just add the text, and my favorite text is what? I love data 610. Okay, you just type the text, and I created the detailed videos on text properties. See, you have this, you have that little toolbar that you could use to modify the text properties, or you could also click on the properties and edit it here. See, so you have a lot of options here, I guess. So I can make it centered, and I can change the size, etc. Right? So that piece, I'll leave you to play around with. For the images, you cannot copy and paste the picture directly. You have to add the link. So you could just go and search for the image. You know, you have like Google Images, right? Google. Well, just go to Google and you can search. Oops, I almost made the same mistake, because when you do it, you are right now on a VGA, right? You need to use the browser on VGA to be able to copy and paste the image link, right? So for example, I want to search for the picture of the car, all right? And I go to Google. Oops, not now. And I just go to, I can search for the images, right? Google images, right? So in the Google images, well, I just like the picture of this car. So you need to get you need to get the link URL, right? So you do this. Let's try copy image address, and let's see if it does this, because it has to end with a dot gt. Try again, copy image address. Then when I go back to the dashboard, and I'm gonna add this image here, right? I add this image, and then in the properties, I have to specify the image URL. And the image URL has to be something like end with GPD something. Oh, there we go. See? What is this? I did not copy and paste my picture directly. What I did here was I pasted the image link, right? I opened the picture in a browser, see? And then you just get the link. You copy image address, and you get that address into Cognos. But again, when you do it, you need to open the browser on the VGA, because remember, you cannot copy and paste directly, right? So you do it this way, then you can also change the properties, right? The size, the appearance, such as adding borders, etc. Right? So you have a lot of options on what you can do here. And I resized it. What I did was I just moved it on top of the error. When you moved it on top of the error, the size will be the same as the size of the pedal, right? And you can also add a video. You would just need to add the video control, and then you would do the media, right? And then you would add the video link, right? So that's straightforward. So I've got two tabs right now, right? I have states here, and I need to have something with states in here, just to show how the filters work. So another way is this. I can go to my data, right? And I can do straight. I can drag and drop the state here. And let's see what happens. Oops, it created the visualization for me. When I go to general. Right now I'm in the properties. I need to close the properties for a second. And I want to open this. Which fields am I using here? So I have a state, and probably as a color, I want to use the number of people, right? So there we go. So right now I have states and I got number of people in each state, right? See, so now we can do the filters. Perhaps I want to filter my dashboard and I want to see only the specific state, right? I have several states. So if you look at the second tab, you can see I have Kansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri. And I want to filter by state. So there are two ways to do that. So I forgot to show you this undo, redo, right? So you saw that. All right, so now I need to open this area. So this is for the filters. And I want to filter by state. So what should I do? I should drag and drop my state. But when I put the filter in here, I'm going to be filtering all tabs now. So if I select only Nebraska and Missouri, click OK, see that? The filter is applied to this tab, right? And the filter is also applied on this tab, see? I had more slices here before, but now the data got filtered to the two states that I selected. See, this is all tabs, right? I delete the filter now. See, undid, and it unfiltered this visualization too, right? So now what I'll do is I can add this filter again, but this time I'm just going to add it to this tab. And I select just Iowa and Oklahoma, click OK. Here I have just two states that I selected. I go back to the second tab, and this is not changed. Why is that? Because I applied my filter only to the first tab. I didn't apply the filter to this tab, right? So that's on the filters. Oh, and then if I no longer need a filter, I can go back here and I can delete, right? Delete. So now we're gonna go back. Let's see. I covered this piece. I covered the tab properties. Oh, there are multiple ways to add visualizations. Another way to add visualization is to use your little friend here, assistant, right? So I'll add another tab here. Do you remember last time you used this assistant, right? Where you could see the data that you have, right? See, like you have a claims and weather data module. You can click on it, and it gives you the different columns and their properties, right? Click more, see? But you can click on the total claim amount, and then also you can also do what influences total claim amount. Now it's gonna show you some visualizations, right? So I'm gonna do total claim amount and marital status. Let's see. You see, it's giving me some visualizations right now. So I can add these visualizations to my dashboard if I want to. I can just drag and drop and add, all right? So now you know that it's also another way to add visualizations. So straight from the library as a pin by drag and drop the fields to the, right? You can just drag and drop the fields, or you can use pins, or you can use assistants, or you can take this visualization, for example, and you can duplicate it, right? I duplicated it, moved it here, then I can open it, right? This is called opening in the focus mode, where I see which fields are being visualized, and I can delete my marital status, for example, and I can add the policy. See what I'm saying? I can change. I can just make a copy of the visualization and I can modify it. right? That's another way to add this visualization, right? Or I can do this. This is a grouped field. Remember, we created the grouped column. I can do that, etc. Right? Remember, you always need to save it. You've got undo and redo buttons. You have something called the edit mode and the view mode. Why? Because, well, edit means the dashboard is editable, right? You can edit it, and view is just you're looking at it as a viewer. So right now I'm in the view mode. I cannot make any changes, but I can interact with it. All right? That's edit mode again. So let's go back. We covered that. We covered visualization library, right? We covered the properties. No, that's just an example, the pie chart properties. And for the text, you can change the color. You can do. There is a lot to play with. So make sure to set aside enough time because there are a lot of things to explore. And you can add the text, right? I showed you the text or just shapes. Shapes are just drag and drop. So I'm on tab 3, right? If I want to add a shape, I just go to this widget and I just drag and drop the shape, right? That's it. Easy. Okay. So next thing, well, I just showed you how to add an image, right? Next topic is linked among visualizations. And for that, well, let's save this, let's close it. I have a different dashboard for the demonstration. So now let's close this. The visualizations are linked. So if I go to my content, I called it a connections demo. So let's take a look at this dashboard. So in here, what I do is, in this panel here, I'm listing the state. And in here, I'm showing the total claim amount, average claim amount by the state, right? It's vehicle class it's a vehicle class, see? For the selected state, see? This is showing the average claim amount by vehicle class, but it's doing it for selected state. At the moment, I selected Missouri here, and Missouri is selected at the bottom, and both visualizations here are filtered for the same state that I selected, right? If I select Missouri, it's going to select Missouri in both visualizations, right? And filter both visualizations. But why is that? Well, if you look at this, all visualizations are connected. So I'm going to look at my widget connections, right? First of all, what I forgot here is that I need to go to edit mode. I'm going to the edit mode right now. And then I'm going to click on the widget connections. Let's see. Do you see this one, right? One. It means that at the moment, all my visualizations are linked into one group, right? So when I select one data point here, the same data point is going to be selected in all visualizations that I have, right? So, but before I do this, I need to unfilter it. Let's unfilter it. Okay, so that's a filter. I'm going to remove the filter because I believe for some reason it had additional filters selected. So I'm just going to unfilter it. Okay, I unfiltered it to make sure. See, both of them are not filtered, right? And the visualizations are the same. See, I have 4 visualizations. They are connected. As soon as I go in here, and as soon as I select Iowa, the same state will be selected in all 4. Why is that? It's because I use the same data source to build all of this, right? I use the same data source. When I select one data point, the same data point will be selected in all visualizations that use that source. But there is a way to break it. So I'm going to click here. Jesus, it's showing you the connections. So this is the whole group. This 4 are the whole group of 1. Now suppose that I want to break it. I want to be able to display one state at the top and a different state at the bottom. How do you do that? Well, I can select this visualization here, right? First, I have to make sure that I have this on, right? I'm selecting view widget connections. Here, I can do break all links, right? So it created a brand new group now. So it does not matter what I go and select here. You see, it does not matter now. If I select something here, it no longer applies to this visualization because I just broke the link, right? So now I'll go back to links. And what I want to do is I want to take this and I want to link this to this too. So I want to be able to select one state at the top and different state at the bottom. So I can select Oklahoma. Oops. First, I have to unselect this. So see this? I clicked on Oklahoma at the bottom. It does not affect my top selection because I unlinked it. And here, Iowa. So sometimes I intentionally want to do two groups, and I want to do side-by-side comparison, right? So I have the average claim amount here by vehicle class, and I want to check, does the state have an impact on average claim amount? So I can do it like this, side by side, see? So what I did was initially all four of these were linked in one group, and I broke the link. And now I can put it back. But if you notice that, see this for the luxury SUV cars, the average claim is higher in Oklahoma than in Iowa, see? So this is just an idea of what you can do. But in general, remember this, all visualizations that use the same data as a source, right? If you select one data point, the same data point will be selected in all of them. They're linked. But you can break those links like I did here. So if I click on the link, see this, I broke this. I can put it back. To put it back, I just click here. Then I go to add to existing connections and select one. I go back here to add to existing connections and select one. So see, I put it back. But in general, remember this, you can select one data point on one visualization, and all visualizations that use the same source as the data will be adjusted accordingly, right? They will be filtered based on the selection. So that's a link demo. Let's see what's next thing here. We did that. Visualizations are linked. Okay, now, but as you can see, where does it take us into? For the next, okay, I can close without saving. So for the next piece, I prepared more detailed dashboard for you. And I also put that example in if you go to the team content and in the data for assignments, there is a folder called walkthrough data. And I put the sample dashboard that I'm going to show you. I put it here. I saved the copy in a shared folder so that for you can look at it at your leisure. But right now I'm going back to my content, and there is a dashboard that I'm going to use right now, and it's I believe it's this one, car insurance dashboard. So now take a look at this. So right now I have a dashboard that has 5 tabs. On the first tab, I have my, this is just the text and this is just the image, right? So if I go to the edit mode, image, and the image, it has, remember, I did not copy and paste the picture. What I did instead was I took this link. This image is available on the web. So that's a image address on the web, right? I intentionally kept the number in here next to the tab name. So here in this tab, I'm just showing the average total claim amount, and I'm doing it by the claim type, and I'm doing it by the here the vehicle class, by the driver's education level, etc. That's just the claim distributions, bunch of pie charts. That's just the work that was done for imaginary assignment 3, right? In assignment 3, that's where you did the data models. So I put that stuff here. And this is just the average claim by location. I did a bunch of visualizations in here, see? I can select, and there I played around with the properties here. And if you look at the, if you can click more, right, to see what I did. And I did the employment status as a color code, just to have it stacked bar plot, right? So I did that. So I have 5 tabs right now. But from here, there is no way to control in which order things are displayed, right? I have to physically navigate from one tab to another. There is no way to specify that, okay, so here I have 4 visualizations. Maybe I want to, for 5 seconds, I want to see just the first one. Then after 5 seconds, I want to see the second one. Then in another 5 seconds, I want to see the third one. In 5 more seconds, I want to see all 4. There is no way to specify it here. There is no way to specify the transitions in between those tabs, right? So that leads us to another topic called stories, right? First, I'll undo the change. All right, so what is a story? Story is a narrative, and it has a timeline. It's a presentation, it's an overtime narrative. There are 2 options for the layout. You can make it as something like a PowerPoint presentation, automated. It resembles PowerPoint presentation. It's not PowerPoint presentation, right? Then you may configure when things appear, disappear. You also may add new visualizations, and you may add more images, etc. But the reason we're using tab dashboard is this. In order to create new story, you're not going to be starting it from scratch. Whenever your dashboard is ready, you'll do this. You're going to go here, and you're going to select the Save as a Story option. I'm going to keep the slideshow. I'm going to select the slideshow for right now. Click Select. What you're going to do now, you're going into My Content, and by default, it's just going to take the name of your dashboard, and it's going to add the prefix called Story. And I want to open my story after the saving. So let's see, this is what happens. So this is a story. Take a look now. I had 5 tabs, and I intentionally left the numbers, right, tab numbers. So what happens right now, every tab that you had in a dashboard becomes the scene in your story. In this case, I have 5 scenes, see? So whenever you do it, only after you're done with your dashboard, because any change that you make to your dashboard right now will not be propagated to this story, okay? You want to do it only when you're done with your dashboard, totally done, okay? You save it as a story, and then you're gonna work on the story. So what is story? The story consists of the scenes, right? And I can just play my scenes. I can be in edit mode or preview mode. So right now here I switch to preview mode. I just play. At the moment there is no animation. There is nothing because I did not specify, right? And I also did not specify that I wanted to loop, right? I did not specify that I want to play all scenes. See, so I have to specify that I want to play all scenes, right? And at the moment, it just nothing. I just play, but I did not specify. See, when I did that, right? I did not specify any transitions yet. I did not specify the timelines for each scene. I just do the preview. So that just shows you the difference right now between the dashboard and the story. The story is just the narrative. It's an animation, right? So let's stop this and let's go back to the edit mode. So I have 5 scenes at the moment, and for each scene, so I selected here, each scene has a timeline, right? So I can open the timeline. See this? I have 4 objects in here, and each object has this little bar. And I can drag and drop the ends here to specify when it's visible. Like for example, see this? I have this one, policy by average total claim amount line chart. I want it to be visible starting from the beginning. I keep as is. But if my other chart, I want it to be visible after the first 2 seconds, I just drag and drop the edge. See, it will make it appear after 2 seconds. If I preview this specific, see, I just previewed this specific scene. That was visible after 2 seconds. I can do more. By default, the scene duration is 5 seconds. I can make it bigger just by taking this edge and drag and extend this. See, I can make it show for more than 5 seconds. See, that will increase the scene length to, in this case, I'm doing it, I have almost 7 seconds, right? So I just do this. But notice that the first visualization, the first plot, will appear only for 5 seconds. Then, after 2 seconds, I'm going to see the second plot, and it will disappear after second 6. See, I just adjust it. So when I can just preview it now, right? So what's a better way to see? I minimize the timeline so you can see it as I preview this. See this? Oh, I had to be in the beginning. I had to start playing this from the beginning. See? Shows? Then this will disappear, and this disappears. See? So basically, on the scene itself, I can specify the timeline when things appear, disappear, right? But before I jump into this, I should have showed you that similar to what we did before in the data exploration, and similar to what we saw in dashboards, here you've got what? Those are the fields, right? And you see all of the calculations that we created in data module, right? And what is this again? That was a filter that we created and that I can apply to visualizations as needed. And if I did not use a descriptive name at the time when I added this filter to data module, there is no way to know what this is without going back to data module, right? So again, I have different columns, and the columns can have different properties. If I want to, I can add calculations, but keep in mind that any calculations that you add here will be available only here. It will not be available anywhere else where you use this data as a source, right? So if I wanted to have my calculation to be available everywhere in all dashboards, all stories where I use the data as a source, I need to create it where in the data module, right? Remember last time we added the navigation path, but I don't see it here. Why I don't see it here? Because we added the navigation path to data exploration. We did not add the navigation path to data module. So it's not available here. Simple as that, right? I mentioned that there are different options here for the layout. So first, what we did was we selected the transition, the slideshow. The main differences here is that when you do the slideshow, it's going to use the same canvas for each for each scene. But if I do the guided journey, it's going to use a different canvas. So that's the main difference, and I spelled it out for you, right? But regardless of which style you use, you may configure when objects appear, disappear. You may add filters, right? And you may customize the transitions. But for the filter scissors, this is similar to what you saw in a dashboard. You can apply the filter to all scenes, or you can apply the filter to the single scene, right? I'm not going through that because if I was, we would be here until morning. Nobody wants to be here until morning, right? Okay, so now also, well, if you take a look at this, there are properties for this story and story type slideshow, and I can specify my transition, for example, sweep. So now when I go to the well, I save it first. Now when I switch to the view mode, right, and I want to go back to the first thing and I want to play it. Take a look at what's happening right now. Notice the transition. Watch it, what it's doing. See, that's a sweep transition. And look at the timeline. See, look at the timeline, and it's 7 seconds. It's not 5 seconds. Now it went to this, and I have 5 scenes total, and I can add scenes if I need to, and add visualizations to the scene. But you want to work smart, right? You want to create your dashboard first, and then you're gonna export dashboard as a story, and then introduce the timeline, etc. But if you so that now let's go back to the edit mode. There is another layout, as I said, it's a guided journey. Take a look at this, and I like this style. The reason I like this style is because it's easier to it's easier for you to submit the work for grading. Take a look at this. The very first here slide, you click on this, and it will show you all your scenes. So if I have to submit if I have to submit something for my assignment, I just minimize this, right? I select this here, overview, see this, and I just take a screenshot of this to show professors that I created my story. How else are you gonna do this? You have to somehow show that you created your story, right? So you would probably be playing with zoom in, zoom out buttons, but in here I'm able to see all of my scenes on the same page. See? So that's what I like about this. I like this layout better because I can see all of my visualizations like this on one page, right? So now let's go back to the edit. Oops. Sometimes I don't remember if I'm in the edit mode or in the view mode. So see here, and if I want to, I can add scene, right? And I can just add visualizations to it from scratch or from bookmarks, etc. I don't like what I just did, I undo, right? So for this, there are also properties. Well, this is just shows, well, this is properties of the preview, but if you go here are the properties, right? And I want to see, I have this checked. I want to show all scenes at the start, and I want to show all scenes at the end, because when I need to submit the work for the grade, I will just click on this and I take a screenshot of this. That shows that I have 5 scenes perhaps, right? Something like that. So that's for the assignment 4, right? And another thing that you notice, there are a lot of similarities. You can add filters, right? As I was saying earlier, you can also view which data is visualized, right? See this? This opens data tray, etc. So that's a preview of the data, right? So that exists here too. Once you study how to use the dashboards, a lot of the functionalities apply to the story. which is why we don't repeat myself here, right? I don't do the demo for filters again, because then we're gonna be here for a long time, right? All right, I'll save it again. So let's go back to make sure that I cover what's important. This is just showing you that you can add stuff from scratch, right? And you can just keep adding these things and doing it. But you know, you want to save time. You want to create dashboard first, and then you export it. And I created the video where I show in more detail the timeline, etc. I created a couple videos that you may want to watch. This is just steps to export dashboard as a story. But the hard way and the long way is to do this. You go to the welcome page, you can click on new, and you can choose story from here. Then you select the template that you want. And now, see, you have to do all the work from scratch. First, you have to specify the source, right? You have to specify the source that you want to use. Then you would have to design each thing. You would have to either add visualizations from your pins or create new visualizations. So you basically redoing the whole thing from scratch. Why not to just reuse the work that you did for your tab dashboard, right? Right? Oops, I want to close without saving. I don't want to save that. So now let's go back here. This is just showing you how to export. All right. And this just showing the picture just shows you that each dashboard, each in the dashboard, each tab is going to be a scene in the story, right? So you want to just go in and export. Very easy. You don't need to redo all your work, just save. But when you do it again, you want to make sure that you're done with the dashboard, because any change that you make to the dashboard afterwards won't apply to the stories. They're not linked. It's a one thing, you know, one type thing. Now, there are also some sample dashboards and stories if you are trying to figure out how to do presentation for your assignment. So what you could do is you can go to the team content, and in the team content, you have this folder called samples. And in the samples, well, there are some sample stories. See, that's not something that you're going to submit for your grade, but you can just check what they did. And when I told you that you have read-only permission for this folder, I lied, because the actual permissions that you have for this folder, it's called run. You cannot make any changes to those files, but run permission allows you to actually execute. So you can not only just see what files are in there, you can not only just open it, but for the dashboard, you can interact with it, you can play with it. You cannot make any changes, though. To make changes, you would have to save a copy of the dashboard to your content, right? You cannot make any changes, but the permissions that you have for the samples, that's called run. So now you can actually interact with the dashboard. Now, more things will be added here because your assignment 5 is a group work. That's a fun part, right? Next piece here, assignment 5 is a group work. So first of all, for assignment 4, you're going to use the same data set as you use for assignment 3. For assignment 5, you go here other options, right? So see here in the data for assignments, you have this folder, and for assignment 5, you have 5 data set options. If you want to go for a challenge, you may look at the life expectancy data, or this one, US news data, that's a college graduation rate data, right? So those two data sets have some missing values if you want to go for a challenge. Otherwise, you also have these 3 options, right? Cars data is very interesting one because here you have several options. You can predict the car's efficiency on a highway, You can predict car efficiency on a city road, or you can predict the horsepower. You have several options in some of these data sets, all right? But it has to be done as a team. So you're going to be placed in groups, and as a group, you want to choose the data set that you're going to use. And next step, you're going to choose the leader. In a team, select the team leader, because what the team leader will do is the data set that you choose to work with, the team leader will copy to your group folder. You're gonna get the specific folder designated for your group. When the time comes, in the team content, you're gonna see this. It's gonna say assignment 5 group work. You're gonna see this new folder in the team content. You don't see it right now, right? But when the time comes, as soon as your professor creates the groups in Leo, she's gonna contact me, and I will do the configuration here. So you will have access to your team folder. Let's just imagine for this demonstration, I'm taking session 9080 and I was assigned to team 1, right? So my name is Demo, and I'm in the team, I'm Demo 2, and another my teammate is called Demo 3, right? So two of us are working on assignment 5. And we are in group 1. So here, this is what I will see. I see assignment 5 group work. This is my enrollment semester, right? Right now it's spring 2024. I click here, so this is my team. This is my session and my team. I'm not gonna see team 2 because I'm not assigned to team 2. I'm assigned to team 1, right? So you only see the team that you're assigned to. Well, I realize some of you might be, if there is somebody who took the course before, you will still have access to your past work. So make sure that you click on the current enrollment semester. So right now we are in the spring 2024, right? So that's an enrollment semester. And this is the folder for your team. Right now it's empty. So this is what you're gonna do once you as a team agree which data you want to work with, right? Like for example, suppose that my team decided to work on the car data. So I go to here, I go to the data, right? So that's assignment 5, that's a car data. As a team leader, I'll have to do this. I have to click here, and I'm gonna select copy or remove, but this time, I'm not going to copy it to my area. I need to copy it to my folder. So see, this is a team. This shows me the current crumbs, right? It shows me current location where I am in the folder. I go back to the team content. I go to assignment 5 group work, my enrollment semester, and my team. And I'm going to say copy to, not move to, but copy to. Move to is going to give you an error because move to removes the file from original location, and you have run access to original location, right? So just go copy to. Well, what did that do? Let's find out. We're going back. See, this is assignment 5 group work, right? I go, this is my enrollment semester, my team. I just copied this file. Then another thing that I need to do as a leader is this. I'm going to select this, and I'm going to go create data module. And I'm going to save it. Save it. And where am I going to save it to? To the team content, assignment 5 group work. This is my enrollment semester, my team name. And I'm going to just save it as what? Cars data module. Cars data module. Right? This is how you do it. You're going to save it in your folder. And you're going to have the same permissions as the demo has now. So demo user is when I set it up, I set it up the same permissions that you will have. All right. So that first group is actually configured. All I'll have to do is to add you to that group. That's all. So I already have configured the first group, right? And at the moment, I just added myself, demo, and demo 2 and demo 3. Those are my demo accounts that I use for the demonstration, right? So what I did was I just saved this data module. I'm gonna close it. Get into a habit of closing everything before you log out, because if you don't close it and your teammate is trying to edit it while you have it open, you might have a problem. So this is very important. We need to make sure. Well, see, the thing is, you can share, you can work, you can in the team content you share files, but the problem is it does not mean that two of you can modify the same file at the same time, right? So now, what did I just do? I go to the I'll go to the team content. See this? Oh, right now, this shows me the current location where I am. Right now, I'm in my team folder, right? I just use this arrow to navigate back to the top. See, and I see those I see those two files, right? See this assignment 5 group work? I see those two files. But I mentioned my name is demo2 and demo3 is in the same group with me, right? So another thing that you can see is when you click here, right? So this is my name. And when I click here, I believe it's in my preferences. And you can see you can see in advanced, you can see your groups and roles. So like I look at the details, see this? So here it shows me that, well, all authenticated users, that basically means that anybody, that group just lets you log in. Everyone, it's everybody who's taking data 610. So this one here, this group, everyone lets you see the samples and also the data that you use for assignments, right? So that lets you do that. But this here, what is this? Later on, you will see that. That means that's a group that you are added into, right? So in this case, I am in a spring 2024, right? So that's my session and that's my team number. That's a group name that I'm a member of, right? And just believe me, at the moment, I have demo 2 and demo 3. So right now, I'm going to log out and I'm going to log in as demo 3. I'm going to sign out and I'm going to log in as demo 3 just to show you that my teammate can see what I just did, right? Okay, so I'm logging in and I'm going to see it. So right now, I'm a teammate, right? And I'm going to go here to the team content. And I see this, see? I see it because I am in the same team. See? That's an enrollment semester. See? And this is what my teammate just did. My teammate copied this file, right? And my teammate did a good job. She closed that file. So now I can do this. I can create exploration, right? And just anything. So see this? It's just telling you that CT miles per gallon is a good field probably to do for analysis. Well, but it does not matter. I just want to create an exploration. I just add this driver analysis, right? And I'm going to save the work. So let's do this. Let's go save as. And where do I save it? Of course, I have to save it in a group work because I want my teammate to see it, right? So that's my semester, right? And I'm gonna save it as cars exploration, cars exploration, right? Now I'm gonna go save, and let's see what happens. So I saved it, right? I'm just gonna close it. Make sure that you close it because even if you are not logged in, if you have the file open, you might create some issues. Because if you have it open and your teammate is trying to edit it at the same time, there's gonna be a problem. I verified that you can share files, but you cannot have 2 or 3 people editing the same file at the same time, right? Okay, So see this? I've got this now, right? I go to team content just to verify, right? Assignment 5 group work, I see this now. My teammate, demo 2, should see this data explorations that I just created, right? And just believe me, I configured to be on the same team. I made that configuration. So now what I'll do, I'm gonna log out and I'm gonna go back as a demo 2, just to show you that what I just saved will be visible. Right? Well, see, that's where I was before. And I see the work that my teammate did. I go to team content, not see this, I go to assignment 5 group work. There we go. And see that's cars exploration that my teammate did. All right? So just understand how you will be working together, but you cannot edit the files at the same time, right? And another thing that you will have to do is, for that assignment, you'll need to record the presentation, probably 10 to 15 minutes. But for that, well, I think it's a good time to show it to you now what you can do, because right now I'm using Zoom. For you, there is a free Zoom version that you can sign up for to do the presentation. For the free version, you're limited to 40 minutes, but trust me, it's not going to be 40 minutes long. It should be 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 10 to 15. But when you sign up for the Zoom, you schedule the session with yourself and you just do the recording. So when I go to my university Zoom account as an example, right, so that's a session we're having right now. If I go to recordings, see this? If I go to recordings, over here, I'm going to see the recordings of the past sessions, right? Like, for example, this is a session that we are having right now. And at the moment, there is no recording. I will have to wait, right? There is no recording. It says processing because we're still having a session in progress. Here, this was a session that I did for data 650. So what you will need to do is you will record your demonstration, then you would go to recordings in your Zoom account, then you're gonna click on a share. And this is a link over here. This is a link over here that you're gonna share with the faculty. And this is a password that you're gonna share also, see? So that link here, and that password, this is what you're gonna need to put in your work, in your submission, right? So this is the link and password to access the recordings that you're gonna do. You may need to record this more than once and choose the best one for submission, right? But just know where to get this recording, and don't worry, you do not need to upload the recordings to YouTube. It's totally private. You just share the Zoom link with your faculty, and that's it. And only faculty and you have access to it. So there is no concern about being on social media, if you will. All right. So I showed you that, right? And you're gonna sign up for the free. One of you will sign up for the free Zoom account to do the recording, and you choose. I mean, all of you don't have to present. Maybe one person can present, something like that. So one person is a team leader who will copy the files. Another person can present. Well, you decide how you split tasks in a group. Okay. So let's go back to see the slides. I just basically explained how to access the folder here, and I showed you. See, so you're gonna watch. Oh, and this is a big issue. You need to remember this. If you delete the data, then everywhere where you use the data, every single file will become invalid. And you cannot do anything because all of the data sets, right? Like see here, this is data module. If I look at the data module properties, right? It has some it has an identification number associated to it. See, this is an ID. See, this is an ID, and the data exploration that I created is associated with this ID. Even if I create another data module with the same name, the new data module will have a different ID, right? So if I delete this data module, this scarce exploration where I use the data module as a source will become invalid permanently. And there is no way to fix it. So you want to be careful, right? When you delete something, just watch out, because things become invalid permanently. And unfortunately, it did happen to the team on the day when the work was due. But good news, they had all their screenshots of work saved, so it didn't have a big impact because they saved the screenshots of what they needed to turn in. Okay, but just remember, all right? So let's see. It's just for you to remember this. Oh, this one is what happens is it's just an error if something got deleted, right? Like I deleted the file, but the file is still sitting in your recents, and you try to access file in the recents that was deleted. You might get that error in the screenshot, but it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, but I'm just showing you the possibility of getting errors. All right. Oh, this is just I have a video where I show you how to create write a case statement. Remember last time we created the data group just by adding the data group? It's also possible to create a data grouping column just by writing the code. So I created a video to show you that example. Here, see? So there is a video to show you. And right now it's gonna be your turn. Please ask me questions, guys. Is there anything that you want to be addressed? I think some of you had questions on the explorations, right? Anyone? Let me see. Let me see. Yes, okay, you can unmute yourself right now. Go ahead, you can speak.
Okay, may I share my screen or just?
Go ahead. Just click on share, it will unshare mine. Okay. So you need to log into your
Cognos, yes.
Oh, you need to log back in. You need to just type VDI DMGC. Oh wait, it signed you out from the Leo, right?
Yeah.
You need to go back to okay. Okay. Oh, okay, yes. Yeah, it's asking you to enter the password. Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. It's gonna ask you for your password. Okay. Yes. Then you're gonna go to your go to the IBM Cognos. Uh-huh. Now it's gonna launch the Cognos. Because okay. Okay. My content, well,
So, in your earlier presentation, part one,
mm-hmm.
you said it is following the path based on the percentage, right? So, if you see this, it is of the it contains like 19% of the total, right? So the split. If you go to the next one, this one is containing 11%. This
Yes.
one, but in my case, in here, this one is having 19%. This one is having 20. This one is having even 20. Why is it going with the split?
I think it's 19. So you need to look
You're breaking, I cannot hear you.
You need to look at the split at the same level.
Yeah, the split happens here at age less than 40. That percentage holds only 19%,
Mm-hmm.
while the remaining attributes is containing 20.
Okay.
And I don't know
Right, don't go to the right. You go straight down.
here.
Yes, you look at the column.
This is even 21.
Okay.
This is 20. This is
Okay.
this is 20.
Okay.
One is 19.
Yes. So that's 100.
This is 19% of the total, right?
19, and then you've got 21.
Yeah,
No,
this
you don't go to the right. Go straight down. 19 plus 20 is what? 39 plus another 20 plus 20 and plus 21. It
So
adds 100.
your presentation, from what I understand, because this one holds a higher percentage, that means it is containing more of the data from the total. That's what you think, if I understand it correctly.
Well, yes, but no, not necessarily actually. Not necessarily because the power code is for the price.
I know the sum will be added to 100. I know that, but this one holds 19%, which is less than the others. But you, yeah,
It's not
yeah,
ordered. It's ordered by the power code in this case. It's not ordered by the number of instances. It's ordered here in this case. It's ordered by the price. Or it just had to do the visualizations, the data that I was looking at in my demo is different from the data that you're looking at right now. For that specific data, it was just showing it just coincidentally at the top. It was the most dominant at the top.
the average price is 16,000 something, right?
Well, it's not always like that. Yeah. Well, this is a different data. For
Yeah,
this data, it's ordering it differently. But
yeah,
it's not necessarily dominant. You just look at this, you say, okay, 19% of 19% of this is car, right?
yeah. No, in
Okay.
your earlier presentation,
In
the
my
one
presentation,
that follows the tail was holding a higher percentage, and you say it is because it is holding a higher percentage than the others. But
well,
this one is holding a lesser percentage, but the tail is going with this way. I don't know why.
well, okay, that way it's a further split. You need to look at the column. But this is a further split. See, what happened is that first, what is the first one? First splitting is age, right?
Yeah, age.
This is
But
how
why
age.
is it picking less than 40? That's my question. It's not, it's holding a lesser percentage.
It does not matter. It does not matter. It's not sorting in this specific data set. It does not sort by majority minority. In this case, it's just sorting by the price. It
But
does.
let me say it. In your earlier presentation, you said it's following the tail because it is holding a higher percentage. A higher percentage means it is holding more data than the others. The majority of the data is here.
Not necessarily. It was only for that specific data that I was looking at. It was only for that data that I was looking at.
I know. During for the assignment, in order for me to explain it this way, was a big challenge for me.
Oh, you could just ask. Well, because see, basically here, uh, no, you just hover. It tells. Well, approximately in here you have approximately the same percentage. Another thing that if you look at the sunburst, it tells you the percentage of rules to which the applies. If you look at the sunburst, do you see this, the first slice, right? The first circle. No, not this inside. Look inner. Do you see this? There are four slices of approximately the same size.
Still, the percentage here is 19 from
It
the
doesn't.
rest.
Okay, it's fine. Yes. Well, for this specific data set, it's not dominant. But for the data that I was presenting, it was dominant. Different data. You
If
need to look at
if you
data.
explain it like me, how would you explain why this, I mean, tree diagram is picking age less than 40? Do I have
Well,
any ground or do I have any?
well, it just showing. You just say that okay, you're looking at it, right? Age groups. Well, there is no dominant age group in here. There is no, well, in this case, you're just like, okay, let's look at this age group. And for this age group, we further splitting the data by what? Weight, right?
Mhm.
You can look at specific age groups, that's all. Well, see, the thing is, what you do in the analysis that you do, there is no prescription. The analysis that you do are in light of the data that you're working with.
Yeah,
See?
I mean, in the assignment, they expect us to explain how this tree diagram is, I mean, flowing, right? In order
Right.
to predict, in order to reach out to the first or the second whatever.
Oh, I see you also selected the nodes. Take a look at the nodes. Nodes, you selected you didn't select all nodes. You selected the top 5. Click on all. Oh, well, does not matter.
Yeah.
It
It
does
is
not matter. It doesn't matter.
I mean, the ones which are, I mean, darker ones are the one with more data, right? With
No, the darker ones are the ones with a higher price.
exactly, exactly.
It's
So
higher price. But
if
it
I
doesn't.
if I click the top 5, it is picking almost, I mean, the darker ones. And my question is why this is picked, I don't know. It is holding a lower percentage than the others,
It
but
doesn't matter. It's random. It's
it's
because of data. It's because the data that you have. It does not matter here.
all right. Okay.
It's not ordered. It's not ordered by percentage. It doesn't matter.
But I know for sure, I heard you said in your earlier presentation, it is holding a higher percentage means there are more data in this category. That
Yes. Yeah, but that was for the data that I was presenting.
we don't have more data than other categories, but it's,
No, it's equal in this case. It's a different data.
yeah, still there are more than, I mean, whatever percentage, there are,
It's because it's a different data.
I don't know. Okay.
It's a different data because see the thing is it's like you have to analyze it in light of the data that you're looking at. I know that's a little bit difficult, but when you start, it's a little bit of a challenge first. But the thing is, you need to look at the data that you are working with. So here, the first splitting column is age, right? And you want to look at
Yeah, I know it is age, but in order for me to explain for the assignment purpose, why is the tree diagram picked age less than 40? I don't have any ground. I was
oh,
I was thinking 90, the higher percentage holds more, I mean, data than
oh,
other.
no, that's algorithm. Algorithm speaks the splitting point. That's a chi-squared algorithm.
So
There is
it's
an algorithm.
okay. No, I got you. Thank you so much.
Okay, okay. There is a chi-squared algorithm that run behind the scene that picks the splitting point for you.
All right. Okay.
It's
Thank
it's it's, it's see because what you're gonna do in the upcoming courses where you're gonna have more control. You're gonna have you'll be writing the code, right? Here you're not writing the code. You're using the implementation that's already there, and it picks the splitting points for you.
Yeah, my assumption was, I mean, they expect us to explain or define what
Mm.
is speaking this or whatever. I was thinking that way.
Oh no, it just the way it's the algorithm picked for you, and you just explain what you observe. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. So you and I, if both of us are writing the paper on the same data, our papers will be different. Both of us present different inside because see, I see things differently. You see things differently, and trust me, if 10 people write a paper on the same data, it's gonna be totally different paper.
Interpreted, I mean, differently. Okay.
Yes. It will be, well, no, well, but you will have different insights. You will have different ways to present. You see what I'm saying? Like when you write a paper, you're not trying to be me, you're not trying to be to someone else. You have to be yourself. And that's part that I like about this is that when you present something, you have to be yourself. you have your own findings from the same data. So the same data set, right? If 100 people write a paper on the same data set, the insights are going to be different because you see things differently. You might pick up something in the data that someone else did not see. You see what I'm saying? Or there could be something like where there could be the rule where there are not as many data falls into. Like, see, when I was doing the demo, right? There are also the luxury cars, right? I just talked about the compact cars. I did not talk about the luxury cars. But maybe somebody else will decide to focus on luxury cars. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same data, but if 20 people write the paper on the same data, it's totally going to be different, totally different insights. Well, trust me, I mean,
Got you. So if I pick the top one here, it is showing, hold on, let me hover.
you just traverse the rules from the top down.
Yeah, with the average price of 20,000 something, there will
Yeah,
be sale of 80 cars, which is 6% of the total.
right, exactly.
That's
But
how,
if
that's how okay, I got you.
yeah, but if there are only 80 cars, it does not mean that the data is not important. And so you may see something about those 80 cars, something that I did not see, something that your classmate did not see. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I like about data analytics, is that to actually learn about the data, you have to read other people's papers, because it's like, you see something, but your classmate is writing a paper on the same data, it's going to be totally different. It's hard to explain, but trust me, it's going to be totally different paper.
80 here is 6% of the total, the 1,456. So there will be a sale of 80 cars with the
Mhm.
other price of 20,000. That's how I interpret it. I don't know how
Yes.
much.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. Yeah, but as you're playing with visualizations, you may see something in there that I have not seen before. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's just a matter of how you approach it. It's basically, you to succeed, you try to be yourself and you present it. Just be yourself. Don't be Elena. Don't be your classmate. You just be yourself, and trust me, that will work. All right?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sure. I hope I helped. Anybody else has questions?
Let me stop sharing.
No? Okay. No questions. If there are no questions, that I'm gonna add the recording. Wait a minute. Share screen. Well,
Thank
I'm
you so
gonna
much. It is
sure.
very cool.
Sure. So I'm gonna stop the recording. Oops, where is it? Okay, stop recording. Okay, thank you. That was an excellent question.
Thank you.